Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the English Podcast Cafe. I hope you're doing well. Lately, I have been so busy with work. So today, I wanted to talk about work and work-life balance. And I hope you can learn some useful English vocabulary and expressions that you can use when you talk about your own work life. This week, I had to work a lot of overtime. To work overtime is to work longer than your regular hours. So I worked a lot more this week than I usually do. I had to work for 12 hours a day on some days. Working overtime was really exhausting. When I came home from work, I didn't have the energy to do anything. I just ate dinner, then sat on my couch thinking about how tired I was. I tried to watch TV, but I felt like I would fall asleep. So eventually, I just went to bed. Luckily, I don't usually have to work that much. Some people might live like that all the time. It must be so hard. Working that much made me think a lot about work-life balance. Maybe you've heard of work-life balance before. Do you have a similar expression in your language? Work-life balance means you have time and energy for both work and your life outside work. Work doesn't take up all of your energy. It's not your whole life. You can take care of yourself and your health, and you have time for family, friends, and hobbies, or whatever else is important to you. If someone has time for all these things, they can say they have a good work-life balance. But if someone spends all their time and energy on work, they can say that they have no work-life balance. I think having a good work-life balance can be really challenging. It's easy to work too much. I think there are a lot of reasons why people overwork. I think for a few people, they just really love staying busy, and when they aren't working, they feel bored. But I think most people who work too much feel like they don't have a choice. They don't want to work so much. It's just something that they have to do. Some people might have really demanding jobs. To say it's demanding means it requires a lot. There's a lot they have to do. They might have to work long hours, or they have to work almost every day without getting many days off. For students, they might spend all of their time either in class or doing homework and studying, so that can make it difficult to feel balanced as well. At my job, there are just so many things that need to be done in a day, so it can be impossible to finish everything you're supposed to do. A lot of teachers end up taking work home with them so that they can finish everything. So even when they aren't at school, they're still working most of the time. Of course, everyone's situation is different, but most of us have to work to survive. So work usually ends up taking most of our time and energy. When I first started teaching, I had no work-life balance. I think that can be normal when you're starting a new job. There can be so many new things to learn, and if you're new, then you might feel like you have to prove how hardworking you are. You might feel like you have to say yes to anything that your boss or coworkers ask you to do. For me, my first few years of teaching were like that. I spent really long days at school. I took a lot of work home with me. And even when I wasn't working, I was thinking about work. But I knew I couldn't keep working like that forever. It wasn't sustainable. Sustainable means that you can keep doing something or it can keep happening without causing a problem. So working that much wasn't sustainable for me. If I kept working like that, then I knew I would end up miserable. So over time, I tried to make a few small changes that have helped me have more of a work-life balance. One thing that helped was just that I became better at my job. With more experience, I learned how to do things faster. I also learned to simplify my work. I made things simpler by thinking about what things were the most important and focusing on those. And I let go of other things that were less important. It's hard because I always want to do the best I can, but there's not enough time to do everything. So I learned it was okay to let some things go. Another thing that helped me was learning that it's okay to not say yes to everything. When I was a new teacher, I felt like I had to say yes to every extra meeting or project. I felt like I had to join every committee or help with every event. But now I try to be more balanced. I do the things I can, and I try to say no when it's too much. Of course, it's hard. Sometimes I worry that people will think I don't work hard enough, but I think having a good work-life balance makes you a better worker. When you spend all your time and energy at work, you get burnt out. So you don't do your job as well as you used to because you don't have the same energy anymore. So I think that sometimes working less actually makes your work better. I wish I could say that I stopped thinking about work when I'm not at work, but that feels impossible for me. When work is stressful, it just stays in my thoughts. But I do try to do things that take my mind off of work. I love to travel when I can, even if it's just a short trip. Traveling helps me feel separated from work, so it really helps me take my mind off of work and feel like I have more balance in my life. So, those are a few things that have helped me spend a little less time at work and find a better work-life balance. What about you? Do you have a good work-life balance? Or does it feel impossible for you? Are there things that have helped you find a better balance? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I hope you have a great week and find time to take care of yourself. See you next time.